Let's try some biscuits. I rate this better than Hobnob. Still original size. Take that, Gold Bar. Bloody marvelous.
Yes!
I have a feeling there's some controversial choices, but we'll get to those. I'm house sitting right now, and the lovely woman who owns it said, you know, here's where the biscuits are kept, help yourself. So this video is part me rating the biscuits and also restocking them. I have 9 biscuits, which is plenty. The criteria for the biscuits I chose is that they had to be ones I was excited to eat again. I want to rate each biscuit based on texture, but also I will evaluate the dunkability. Let's start with the Hobnob. I know it's a classic, it's a favorite. It's actually one of my favorites. Crunch. Let's make a breaking. Okay, so not too many crumbs. What I like about the Hobnob is that its first ingredient is whole grain rolled oats, which is not the case for most other biscuits. In fact, I think this is the only one that has any shred of whole grain. So of course it gives it that kind of oaty texture. Yeah, it dunks really nicely. That's very, has a good structural integrity. Solid. Yeah, that's a solid biscuit. I guess I'll save my ratings to the end. Because although I have 9 boxes, I have 9 things of biscuits, I'm going to try to like pick the 5 best. So next is the beloved Fox's Crunch Cream. Golden variety. I know there's a couple other ones. I was at the supermarket and they had a salted caramel and maybe one other one. But I thought let's try to stick to the originals here. Oh yeah, this one was really hard to open. I brought the scissors because I knew this was going to happen. So this one's like a little bit messy and it's not even really done anything. Maybe it got a bit roughed up in the packaging. So I know that it's 2 biscuits stuck together with cream and it's really good. It is very much like a custard cream, but the outside biscuit, or not the outside, but the biscuit itself has a different texture. It's a little bit more crunchy. And yeah, custard creams are really good, but they're just not that interesting. Unless you get the M&S does a double cream one. That's really nice. Or, you know, double filling. Hold on. We gotta dunk this one. Well, holds up to the dunk. I think that benefits from the dunk. This kind of brings it all together, if that makes sense. Yeah, very nice. I should probably also give a special mention to shortcake, like shortcakes, because they're really tasty, but I just don't get excited about these really plain biscuits, so I didn't buy them. Next we have Garibaldi. They're a sugar-coated glazed biscuit filled with currants, so which is a very divisive option. A divisive ingredient, I should say. One interesting thing about these is they kind of come as almost like a sheet of biscuits, and then they have these perforations and you can break them apart, but these are breaking apart in the wrong spot. And the taste is a little bit boring, but I do, well, if you like currants, great. If you don't, I say skip these. I don't think they benefit from the dunk. Okay, next is the Jaffa cake, which, as I think a lot of other biscuit tasting videos have mentioned, there was a kerfuffle a few years back because they wanted to tax it differently because it's a cake. I mean, ingredients-wise, the base is definitely a cake. People eat them like biscuits, though. Woo! Sorry, I'm so used to having to tug really hard. That one came almost flying right open. All right, so they're easy to eat. What I do like about them is they're virtually no mess. Let's try the dunk. I don't think they benefit from the dunk because you have the chocolate and you have the orange and that's kind of enough. I don't know what the right word is. It's like kind of already a semi-liquid. I almost bought the yuzu flavor. I love yuzu, but I thought maybe stick with the classic for now. No, I shouldn't say it. When I first moved here, I was part of this larger extended American expat group that was online. And one of the chief complaints about Britain was the dry, crappy cakes. And it was just one particular gripe that a few people had. I think they were referring to supermarket cakes. I'll just never forget that. And I think of a Jaffa cake, it's not really dry immediately after you open it, but that will dry hard as a rock if you don't seal that baby up tight. So yeah, I'm gonna find some packaging to put all of these in so that they stay fresh. The next one is the Gold Bar. I know it's not a biscuit in the traditional sense, in that it's covered in, hold on. It's covered in this beautiful substance. I guess it's called a caramelized white chocolate. So these are all individually wrapped. So a lot of these bar ones are when they're covered in chocolate like this. I guess it's like if they were starting to melt, they're not gonna stick to each other. But, so I actually only tried a Gold Bar maybe 5 or 6 years ago because they were not around, well, they were around in the 80s, I guess, and then now they're back again, something like that. Anyway, they're phenomenal. Inside is a biscuit, and it's got this yellowy stuff on the outside. But this one wins on texture. Like nice and crunchy. Just dipping a little bit in the tea. I rate this better than Hobnob. It's so good. And I could have gotten into the whole realm of penguin bars and club bars. Love the mint, but I don't have the budget. Evan Edinger did something like 22 varieties, but it's I think 9 should be enough for me. The other thing about the Gold Bar is everyone's saying it's smaller than it used to be. So, which makes me laugh because, hold on, the next one, Tunix Caramel Wafer Biscuit. And this was what make me laugh is it says, still original size. Take that, Gold Bar. So these I love. The size comparison, you can see quite a bit of difference. Sorry, that's a fun fact. More than 7,000 of these biscuits, sorry, 7,000. More than 7 million of these biscuits made and sold every week. Wow. I don't know if that means that everyone in, do they export? That feels like a lot of people. I feel like I'm just generating more questions. Going back, the outside coating on this one is really thick, and this one I know is quite thin. That's really good. I've never dunked one of these. Just didn't feel like it needed it, but just to be fair. I don't think this or the Gold Bar really benefit from dunking, but it is really good. The Gold Bar is still in first place for me though. Okay, next. Okay, we're down to 3. So, ginger nuts. So there was the other brand, the sort of store, oh, I can't even remember the name of the brand right now, but I almost bought them, but these were like £1 cheaper. And I looked at the ingredients and it was pretty similar, but I don't think there's going to be a huge difference between this and the very common name brand. So let's find out. So I do love a ginger nut. They're almost boring, but not as boring as some others. I remember them being quite hard, but not as hard as a US ginger snap. That's rock hard. It's good. It's very, very dry, so I think it's going to be really good in the dunk. Excellent dunked. Excellent. Okay, the next one, I don't think it's a traditional biscuit, as far as I know, but it's bloody marvelous. I mean, it's a little bit posh. These are probably the most expensive ones. They're a chocolate-covered ginger biscuit, and I think they're really good. It's really good. It's got slightly more of a ginger kick than the ginger nut, and the dark chocolate is top quality. It's not like no shade to the Tunix cake, but it's like, you know, that's kind of more of a chocolate coating, whereas this feels like it's actual chocolate. Okay, so one thing to say though is this is melting in my fingers. It's tasty enough that I'm going to finish this one. Okay, the last one may be controversial. I know it's not a traditional British biscuit, but as far as I can tell, it's not made in Spain anymore. So Oreo is one I just grew up with, and I loved them. As a kid, it leaves like this black mark around your mouth, so I'll try to avoid that today. When I first came to the UK, there was no Oreos, And then when they did appear, they were made in Spain. Now I'm looking at the packaging here. I can't see anything about where they're made. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they're made either in somewhere in the UK or Republic of Ireland. But yeah, no mention of Spain anymore. I also see that there's more cocoa, which is kind of interesting. So I haven't had an Oreo in a really long time. I remember the Spanish Oreos tasting a little bit different than the US ones, but I couldn't pinpoint what it was. You know, it wasn't like the difference between like Hershey's and Cadbury. It was like, you know, a little more subtle. They seem smaller than the ones in the US. Delicate little crunch. They are good, but I wouldn't say they're amazing. I actually have made my own homemade Oreos before, and they were really good. They had this nice like cocoa and sea salt thing going on. And it reminded me a little bit like a whoopie pie. So if you've never heard of a whoopie pie, I better explain. So it's like a similar flavor. You know, it's kind of like a salty, chocolatey cocoa flavor. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, these are good. I have lots of open biscuit packets now. Oh. I've tried them all. My tea is about down to there. I tried to taste them quite quickly so I didn't have to like make lots of teas. I hope I haven't got a ring of black. I have my 5 best. I'm not going to put them in any particular order because it's probably just going to depend on what mood I'm in, but definitely Gold Bars are in the top 5. These Oreos normally would be £1.30, but I actually got them for 70p, so that's a winner. Definitely the Hobnobs, just an all-rounder. I think it's the balance of the sweetness and the texture and the fact that it's like a little bit healthy, like a tiny bit. Yeah, definitely good. Also in the top 5, the Crunch Creams, they're so good. They're also £1.30, not marked down. And these babies were $2.25, but they're quality. They're really, really, really tasty. You can tell because they've got like a gold stamping on the packaging. They have a raspberry version I haven't tried, but I thought for this time I would just stick with the ginger because I know I definitely like it. So yeah, maybe in a future video I just try new biscuits, things I haven't tried before. Thanks for the help.
My favourites are Jaffa Cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Then Hobnobs.
Yeah.
Then these dark chocolate gingers are pretty good too.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely. Okay. Top 5?
Then a classic ginger nut, I think.
These guys?
Those guys.
Yeah.
And I kind of quite like Oreos too.
Yes! Can you just verify for the camera I haven't told you what order anything is in, or?
It's all my own decision making.
Good. Okay.